Why are the world's biggest companies spending hundreds of billions on AI? What do they already know that we don't? Oracle just signed a $300 billion deal with OpenAI, Meta, 65 billion, Google, 75, Microsoft, 80. That's more than the GDP of most countries. Are they gambling? Are they panicking? Or do they see something we don't? Here's the answer. They found a law. In computer science, a law isn't a guess, it's a pattern that keeps holding, no matter how hard you push it. The first one was Moore's Law. In 1965, an engineer named Gordon Moore drew a line on a graph. He predicted that the number of transistors on a chip would double every 2 years. People laughed at him. He wasn't a prophet, he was just an engineer at Intel. But then the line happened, year after year, decade after decade. For 50 years, his prediction tracked reality almost perfectly. Hardware kept doubling, computers got smaller, faster, cheaper. That was the warm up. Now AI has its own law, and it's bigger. In 2020, researchers at OpenAI plotted three simple things: loss versus compute, loss versus data, loss versus model size, and every single time they made the model bigger, loss went down, predictably, cleanly. There's a hidden boundary underneath those curves. Call it the frontier, the lowest possible loss for a given amount of compute. Nothing actually reaches the frontier, but every scaling step gets closer to it. This is the scaling law. Pour in more compute, more data, bigger model, the curve descends. You get closer to the frontier every single time. 2 years later, DeepMind refined it. They called it the chinchilla scaling law. Same chart, same axis, but they found something practical: a perfect ratio between model size and training data. Hit that ratio, and the curve falls faster for the same compute. In other words, you move closer to the frontier without spending more money. That's the bet the giants are making. They know the curve, they know the ratio. So every dollar of compute, they know roughly what it buys. It's like flooring the accelerator when you have a map of the road. No surprises, just speed. But nobody fully knows why the curve works. Is it a law of nature, like gravity, or just a pattern hiding inside human data, repeating itself at scale? Nobody can answer that. But the curve hasn't broken yet, and as long as it doesn't, every dollar spent pays off. Every AI chatbot, every image generator, every voice assistant, every enterprise contract built by the token, by the subscription, by the company, that's how the bet pays off. But there's a quiet fear inside every American AI lab. Open source is catching up. Look at the benchmarks: DeepSeek v3, Qwen VI, Chinese open weight models. On tests like MMLU and HumanEval, they're within a few points of GPT-4o, Claude, and Gemini, and anyone can download them for free. If open source ever fully matches the frontier, those hundreds of billions get undercut by a free download. So here's the real question for us normal people: will the AI giants ever make their money back? Will we get cheap AI for 2 years and then locked into subscriptions forever? Or does open source set us free? Drop A, B, or C in the comments. A, locked in. B, open source wins. C, something wilder is coming. Follow me on LinkedIn and YouTube. I break down AI and cybersecurity one idea at a time. See you in the next one.